Does not seem to be. All right, Leslie, I am having a problem getting to my desktop to get this so I can pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up first
Oh,
and then
never
share.
mind. I think I've got it. Let's see if it's showing up. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
All right, let me see if I can go ahead and get this. Unfortunately, what the problem is, I'm seeing your, there we go. Now I can do it. Okay, hi everybody. Good morning. And Leslie, thank you for letting me go first. I'm actually taking a break that I got permission for from another seminar that I'm in today. So anyway, good morning everybody. And I guess the topic today is artificial intelligence, which seems to be the buzzword. This is what everybody's talking about. It's impacting everything. And when Casey Digital Drive decided it was probably time to put together a little program on that, I had to stop and ask myself a few questions in terms of what I wanted to do. And most of the programs that I've seen, because I did a lot of checking, were people teaching other people how to actually use AI to accomplish some sort of an objective. And I thought, well, I need to take a step back from that and look at number one, who is my audience? Who actually needs to know this stuff? Because if you know what I do at Casey Digital Drive, I'm the trainer, but I also do digital navigation. And most of my students are, I don't know the easiest way to describe it. Hang on, I just lost my slide.
It's
All
it's showing
right.
up fine for us.
There, yeah, well, it was bad for me for some reason. This is an older computer. I've got two computers going because I've got a seminar in each place. But most of my students are in a very highly vulnerable demographic. They tend to be exclusively senior citizens. I rarely have anybody under 60. And of course, people describe themselves as senior citizens dependent very differently depending on who they think they are. But they're almost entirely low income, low education levels. They're unfamiliar with and insecure about technology, and they're not looking for jobs. This is not a group that needs to know how to do all these wonderful capabilities that AI has for them. They just need to understand a little bit. So I thought, all right, I need to tailor this to who my particular audience is. And then the question is, why does this group need to know anything about AI? Well, since it's not going anywhere, whether you love it or hate it, it's here to stay forever. So they need to get acquainted with it so it doesn't scare them. So the next thing is then if they are going to know it, what exactly do they need to know? They need to have a basic understanding of what AI is and what it isn't. And really important, they need to know the terminology. They need to have at least a working knowledge of what AI can do for you. They need to have the ability to navigate through all of the different options. And really important, they need to be secure in what they're doing because really people, especially my audience, is afraid of it. So here is, this is a very abbreviated thing. I'm just pulling some of the slides from the program. And this is pretty much what we cover when I do the little 2-hour program. We talk about what AI is. I give them some fundamental understandings. We talk about, believe it or not, large learning models, things like that. Ask them, are they already using AI? What they can do to make it work for them. We play a little bit. We have some fun. We go online. We play with Copilot and with ChatGPT. We also do some work on learning what is real and what's not. How can you tell that? And I do have a slide for that that's kind of fun. And then how to be safe. And then what some of the big questions are as it relates to the environment and to the, well, the environment, both physical and financial. So we start off with a quick definition, and I'm not going to bore you reading this, but the key word always is artificial. I want to make sure everybody understands that the computer is not really thinking. And here's how it knows what to do. It is strictly pattern recognition. And one of the things everybody's familiar with is the concept of algorithms. And it was one of the first questions that comes up every time, because I don't know if anyone else is on Facebook, but they've got this thing going around where if you put your finger on something and hold it down, it's going to change the algorithm and you're going to see all of your old friends show up again. Well, that doesn't work. The algorithm is like a recipe and you can't change the recipe. But making sure they understand exactly what an algorithm is makes things a lot easier for everybody. Now, my students primarily do not have access to computers in their personal life, but they are like most of the people in the United States, they have smartphones. So we gear most of the program towards teaching people how to do this on their smartphone. We talk a little bit about the industries that are using AI and what they're useful for. We talk about, like my veterinarian, I always get a report from every visit because it records it and sends me a printed copy. Now, here are the ones that most people use, and especially my clientele. They use the voice assistants, and I have to be very careful because I'm sitting here with my smartphone next to me. So if I say this word, it's going to start talking to us, and we don't want that. But everyone seems to be familiar with hey, this, hey Siri, hey Alexa, which I use all the time. And then they're all familiar with chat assistants and chat bots. And as you can see, according to AARP, 30% of those age 65 or over have experimented with some form of AI, which actually I think is pretty low. I'm finding that most of my clients have actually had some experience with it. So I'm really sort of questioning that number. And we do talk about what a bot is because they just don't know what a bot is. And of course, it's short for robot. And we give a little information about that and do some demonstrations. And of course, the voice assistants. I use this one, and I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want my phone to interrupt me. I do not have an iPhone, so I don't use that one. But I do use Alexa all the time because she controls my thermostat and just all kinds of things in my house. One of the things that I found people are confused about is, isn't Google the same thing as artificial intelligence? And there's some similarities, but we do talk about the difference between a Google search, which is keyword matching, and an AI search, which is pattern recognition. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but every time I do a Google search, literally the first thing that shows up is an AI result. Then the SERP, the search engine results page with all of the web pages that are available. And then we talk about, are they already using AI, which of course most of them are, with the voice assistants and with the communication tools. Excuse me, it's allergy season. And we talk about how AI can do some of these other things, health and wellness tracking. Most of them have smartwatches and there are apps on their phone that they learn to use. So most of them are really using a lot of AI already. This is when I really hunker down with them because this population is really vulnerable. And I want to be sure that they're aware of all the different AI scams that show up. And we have lots and lots of different examples of that. I also do a program on scams, and there's just a lot of bleed over in how this takes place. Now, here's where it starts to get fun. We start to look at AI images and identify if it is a fake or if it's not. And I don't have that particular screen, but I have this picture blown up really large on the screen and ask people if they can see why it's fake. And this one's pretty easy to tell. Everything is just way too standard. But it helps them if they can start to look at pictures and say, no, that's probably not a real photograph. So we do a lot of the fact checking and how they can do an image search, how they can search an image using Google Lens. And that pretty much sums up what we do in the seminar. In the program. But I do end it with this particular statement, which I think is really says it all. Success in creating AI could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization, or the worst. We just don't know. And by the way, if anybody's really interested in being a total geek, Britt Huffman recommended a book to me that you might find interesting, and it's called The Empire of AI. And it's pretty heavy reading, but it's all about the birth of AI and how Sam Altman and Elon Musk put this all together. So that kind of wraps that up. Leslie, if you want to take it back over, I don't have anything else I need to say unless somebody has a question.
Yeah, thanks so much, Carol. I know you squeezed this in. So Carol's available for calls. If you want to dig into this more, when she's here in the office and not off, then I know you're happy to talk with anybody. And then also, if this is something that you'd be interested in learning how to do, at your own organization, we would be happy to do a train the trainer, and Carol can pass over her slides to you and can get you up to speed on how to do that. So thanks so much, Carol.
Leslie,
Appreciate it.
yeah, and thank you for letting me go first. I'm just almost right on time to go back into my regular seminar.
Yes, so go ahead and do that. And we're going to head on over to Merve and learn about what the Women's Employment Network has going on with AI.
Yes.
Thanks,
Hello,
Carol.
everyone. So I'll share my screen. I'll give a little bit information about like our current program and services, and then I'll specifically talk about our AI for Beginners course that we launched a couple weeks ago. Okay. So, as Women's Employment Network, we have been around for almost 40 years. We are a local nonprofit organization. Our goal is for women to have a sustainable employment and gain financial independence. We serve any woman and who identify as a woman over 18 years old. Uh, we don't require any residency or income, and as I said, our goal is kind of them to find the career path that matches with their personality and their skills, and we support with their um, finding an employment, and then we do also financial coaching with them, and they can benefit from our financial coach as long as they need. So a lot of the times our clients find us through word of mouth, through social media, or we get referrals from our other community partners. And when they come to us, we do intake and assessment to see where they are at. We have different programs to kind of plug them in. We have both in-person and remote programs. I will give more details about those. And during our programs, we do resume development, we do mock interviews to improve their interview skills. We also have a computer lab in our office. We do supported job search and application with them. Our director of employment specialist, she is like during the job search lab hours, she supports them one-on-one during their job search and application. And we also have a big alumni association, so we always bring our past clients together to kind of socialize and network. So just digging into our program, so Three Pillars to Success is our main in-person program. It's a 3 weeks program. It takes holistic approach to personal and professional well-being. As I said, we are not only focusing on getting a job, but we are focusing more like finding a career path and finding a sustainable employment. And this program is only 3 weeks. Our clients come Tuesday through Thursday between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's not too much commitment for them. We start this program every first Tuesday of the month. So we have this program starting every month. And so if they miss, they can always come to the next one. We also launched at the beginning of this year in January Win Anytime program. This is the remote version of Three Pillars to Success. So, and this is an on-demand program. So it's self-paced. But we expect them to finish in 4 weeks. So we can continue with job search. And each week we open a chapter for them to complete, and they can complete any time of the day. I mean, any time of the week. And then we do resume development and mock interviews with these clients remotely as well, so they don't have to come in person at all. This is specifically designed for any women that are not able to come in person for various reasons. And sometimes they even have a job that currently they're going and they can't come to in-person program. They're maybe looking for better opportunities. So we also launch this like every month. And we also have different programs like Start Here. This is the 90 minutes like providing essential needs for job search. We do Start Here program every Tuesday and Wednesday. It's only 90 minutes. So if any clients reach out to us in the middle of the month, and we can't make them start the Three Pillars of Success program, we want them to come to Start Here just to kind of also see what they can get from us if they would like to continue, working with us either one-on-one or come up to one of our programs. This can be a start for them, or sometimes they say, oh, this 90 minutes is enough for me, I will just start for a job search. So we also have a lot of webinars. They are more one and done webinars. So our Start Here, Three Pillars of Success, and Win Anytime for only women and who identify as a woman, but Win webinars and Win courses were open to everyone. Since we don't work with them, we work with them one-on-one. They are all online, free. Some of our webinars are live, some of them are on demand, like especially like resume development webinars. We made it on demand so anyone can access anytime. There are also like personal professional development, financial webinars. They're all listed on our website. I will also kind of navigate our website after the presentation. As I said, they are all free, more personal professional development for anyone who has a job or doesn't have a job can benefit from the webinars. So when courses, we just actually launched our, as I said, AI for Beginners course. I'll just dig into that. So AI for Beginners course, this is specifically designed for and it's for anyone, like woman, man, anyone. But our goal with this course is for people to be able to use AI in their daily life. How can they use it for their daily life, or like also showing them they're actually using it already, like for the maps, as she mentioned earlier, like for Alexa, they're already using in their daily life. Maybe they're not realizing, but we were focusing on how else they can use it, like during their job search or emailing, and what are the things they need to be careful also, like using AI. We also mentioned about that. So this course is like not like tech related at all. It's just how you can use it in your daily life. Our goal is when the people take this course, when they need to use AI in their workplace, they can easily transition. And I will actually show like how you guys can find this course on our website. and then I'll kind of show the chapters. So on our website, can you guys see my changes? Okay, kcwen.org, and like this is gonna be pop up, and then when you click on Get Help, and then when you scroll down, you're gonna see the WEN courses, and then it's gonna take you to AI course. And we can even look at the chapters, like basically at the beginning, first chapter, we just start like, what is AI? And then who is this course for? As I said, this course for anyone. It's not like tech related or at all. And then we do what is AI and how AI helps in everyday life. So just kind of people to understand. And this is an on-demand course, so you can, if you leave on chapter second, and you can jump back on, you're gonna continue where you left. We do like couple, just a basic assignments, and after each chapter, just like one test question or for them to do something. As I said, we have like hands-on practice, like we also mentioned like Grammarly, Canva, and then like staying smart and safe with AI, like how to kind of protect your personal data, what not to put on AI. We also mentioned that on chapter 5. And on the chapter 6, we focus on like how you can use AI tools for your job search. And then, continue doing like we are planning to also add more chapters, but more like non-required chapters. So when you complete these 7 chapters, you will get a certificate of completion. But now we're getting some requests from people to just like, what else do you want to learn, like basically, and then we're planning to add more chapters on this. So yeah, so this is our AI for Beginners course, and it's for everyone. It's simply, you can find it on our website. It's an on-demand course. Basically, we also, as I mentioned, talk about like what not to put in AI, like don't put the names, like even while you're doing resumes, like, or like cover letter, don't put the names or addresses, just to protect your personal data. So as Women's Employment Network, we also do one-on-one support with our clients. We do individualized case management. If our clients needs more support or services than what we can provide, we refer them out as well. We say once event client, always event client. As I said, our clients can benefit from our financial coach as long as they need. We know it's longer term process than finding an employment. And we never close the chapter. They can always come back for different supports. So do you guys have any questions?
Awesome. So Leah's asking, what's your geographic reach? Are you throughout the greater Kansas City region?
So yes, like for our in-person programs in the Greater Kansas City region. But as I said, like our especially AI course, like webinars, for the webinars, we even have attendees like outside of the US. So since they are online, available for anyone, we don't have any limitation. But like when it comes to like that one-on-one support, like especially when anytime programs, since we also work with them, for those we keep it for just the Kansas City metro area.
Thank you, Merve.
Thank you for hosting me.
Yeah, of course. And again, all your services are free, so people can refer their folks who need these kinds of services, or if you're not really diving into AI yourself as an organization, you can certainly pass those folks off to Women's Employment Network or Carol's class. And now I think we're going to hear from Strategic Workforce Development. So Anju, are you ready?
No, it's me. I'm
Oh,
actually using
hi.
her computer. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna make I actually made a quick presentation. AI is shaping our future, and AI is about to be uh people should start using AI with at least 80% of their work and 80% things that they do. And that is something that is going to not just change our future, but it's also a tool that can uplift the disadvantaged communities that we have. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to give you this presentation that I made and put together. Okay. Oops. 1 second. Can everybody hear that?
Are you playing?
Nobody can hear it?
Were you playing a video?
Yes.
No.
They're not going to be able to hear it.
They can. I don't know. Leah, do you want to try and guide him through how to do his sound?
When you're screen, it should pop up a check mark to say share sound. And then that should, when you check that box, then it should work.
Okay. Share sound. Okay. Thank you, because I put a lot of time and effort in this. Not to let everybody see it. Okay, so thank you so much. So let's try this again.
Good morning and welcome. What a sight this is, seeing a community come together like this. My name is York Wilson, co-founder of Strategic Workforce Development Incorporated. And today we're not just cutting a ribbon, we are launching a lifeline. We are officially opening the doors to the AI Futures Lab. For years, our mission at SWD has been clear: to be the bridge where opportunity meets potential. We focused on empowering our community, the disadvantaged, the dislocated, veterans, the justice involved, women, and our youth by providing pathways into the skilled trades. Through our core program, Build It KC, we've trained hundreds in construction and have employed over 5,000 people right here in the Kansas City metropolis. We are proud of that bone-deep grassroots work. But we also see the next great wave of change coming: the rise of artificial intelligence. And with it comes a stark choice. Do we let this technology create a new permanent underclass? Or do we ensure that the communities often left behind are not just included, but are the ones shaping this new future? Let me be blunt. We have seen the barriers. We work every day with highly skilled, justice-involved individuals who are ready to work, but doors are slammed shut. We see the frustration build, and we ask ourselves, as the great Eddie Hassan, a legend among African-American contractors, challenges us: drop the gun and pick up a tool. But what if the tool of tomorrow is an algorithm? What if the job site is a digital lab? That is the question the AI Futures Lab is built to answer. This lab is our new blueprint. It's a place where we will equip our community with the most in-demand skills for the jobs of the future. This is not a theoretical program. It is built on the same people-first principles that have always guided us. Our curriculum is grounded in AI literacy and use case framing, so people can understand this technology and apply it to real problems in their own neighborhoods. Data basics and ethics, because we must ensure these powerful tools are used responsibly and for equitable outcomes. And true to our form, it's all hands-on learning. We learn by doing, creating prototypes, and working on real projects that lead to tangible portfolio pieces and skills-based certifications. This is the next step in our mission. It's about integrating the future of tech with the core of our community. It's about expanding our impact, just as we are with our new Empower KC initiative, which connects housing stability to workforce success. And it's about holding firm to our core values: trust, being tough, reliable, unbiased, skilled, and a team player. We stand here today thanks to the support of our partners, from the Shoemaker Foundation to the Kauffman Foundation, and because of the relentless dedication of our CEO, Anju Giri, and our entire team. So let's get to work and see how this is done. So let's be real about the problem. AI is moving fast, right? And it's amazing. But if we're not careful, it's going to create a bigger divide. We're looking at a real risk of an quote unquote AI underclass. Folks in whole communities that just get left behind because they can't get access to the right training or resources. The skills gap isn't just a number, it's people being shut out of the future. And that's the future we have to change. So what are we doing about it? We're not just talking, we've built a new blueprint together with our community partners. SWD Will created the AI Futures Lab. This isn't your typical dry training program. It's a different kind of approach, built from the ground up on a few key principles to make sure this tech revolution is an equitable one. So what makes the AI Futures Lab different? Well, it's a place, a real place where we bring people in and empower them through hands-on learning. We throw out the old textbook model. It's a collaborative environment where people from all walks of life, all walks, can come together, learn these essential AI skills, and support each other. Our North Star is simple. In this tech revolution, we make sure no one gets left behind, period. Now, how does this actually work on the ground? Two big things. First, we put people into diverse teams, because when you have different perspectives in the room, you get better, more innovative solutions to real world problems. And second, we measure everything. We have to. We track our success with data to prove we're actually bridging that skills gap and creating real pathways to jobs. This shows our partners and our community that this investment is working. Let's talk about the training itself. Our curriculum is a structured path. It starts with the core stuff everyone needs to know: AI literacy, how to frame a use case. Then we immediately get into hands-on modules where people are building and creating. And this all leads to a clear finish line, a skills-based certification, and a real pathway into a tech career, often through apprenticeship programs. We're not just teaching, we're launching careers. Let's talk about the training itself. Our curriculum is a structure. Now, the foundation of everything we do is built on 4 pillars. We teach AI literacy, so people understand what this tech is and how it impacts their work and lives. We teach use case framing, so they can spot a real problem in their community that AI can help solve. We cover data basics, because you can't work with AI without understanding data. And it's all tied together with safeguards and ethics. We build trust and responsibility right from the start. We learn by doing. It's that simple. So our students are getting their hands on the tools. They're rapidly prototyping ideas, failing fast, and learning faster. We partner with local businesses for work-based learning, so they're solving real problems for real companies. And through it all, they're building a portfolio of work, tangible proof of what they can do. It's not a certificate in a frame, it's a body of work they can be proud of. But here's a critical piece a lot of people miss. You can't expect someone to focus on learning a new skill if they're worried about where they're going to sleep next month. That's why we launched Empower KC. It's an initiative that directly connects housing stability with workforce development. We launched it, we listened to the community about their needs, we built partnerships with housing organizations, and now we're implementing support programs. Because you need a foundation to build a future on. Empower. This model works. Now, how do we make it bigger? It comes down to three things. First, we need funding, strategic investment to grow. Second, we need good policy, rules that support inclusive tech, not hinder it. And third, we have to show a clear ROI. We have to prove the social and economic return on this investment. And wrapped around all of this is our community outreach, making sure we're always bringing new voices to the table. Absolutely. So this brings us to our shared challenge. This lab, this mission, it can't just be my mission. It has to be our movement. Employees in the room, we need you. We need you to be more than just partners. We need you to be believers. Hire our graduates. Bring us your real-world problems for our students to solve. Invest in this talent pipeline because it's the most important one you'll ever build. Policymakers and community leaders, we need you. We need you to help us clear the path, to break down the systemic barriers that have held people back for generations. Help us scale this. Advocate for the policies and funding that make inclusive tech a reality, not just a promise. And to every single person here today, this is about legacy. It's about whether we let this technological revolution happen to our community or whether we step up and shape it for our community. The door to the future is open. It's right here in this lab. I'm asking you to walk through it with us. Let's connect. Let's build this future together.
So, did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And so one of the biggest things is I'm so happy that everybody is venturing off in this AI initiative. And one of our biggest things is, and I want a couple people, if you can, contact me after this. We're going after funding. And one of the funding is it wants to show community impact. And so one of SWD's biggest visions is to make sure that every partner organization that we work with actually has an AI lab, right? And with these AI labs, one of the biggest things I'm realizing is that it ain't cheap. Like just with this presentation I made, I had to spend $100 to get the software, and it's $100 a month. Okay, it's $100 a month plus all the other charges of basically having my computer and my Wi-Fi and every other using Copilot and every other thing that isn't free. And so this technology is not accessible to our underdeserved community. Let alone it wouldn't be accessible to me if I didn't work for the company because I'm not paying that much money for this, right? And so that's the main thing. So I want to let everybody know that what we're trying to do, due to the government shutdown, our money's a little bit funny, so we could have launched this as soon as possible, but we plan on launching this lab at the first of the year, and it's going to be integrated into all our training. So, if you guys don't know, our main niche has been construction, and for the last 10 years, and we have trained over 350 people in our program and work with all the union trades, developers, and unions and non-unions. With that being said, with this AI, we're going to integrate that into our trading, but also implement AI tools. So now they got AI hard hats, AI glasses, AI this, AI that, to where that it's going to make them more effective. Everybody that uses AI and basically has implemented AI to their life, they see anywhere from a 50 to 100% increase, some scaling all the way to 300%. So this tool is really a dynamic tool, not just for the future, but for the people of us at home. So I'm just asking everybody, if you are interested, I would love to work with you on this initiative and make sure that everybody has AI and everybody has the technology to serve their community and their participants.
So, York, did you use AI to create that presentation?
Yes, that's why I talked at the end, so y'all can know that I can actually talk to.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Can you walk us through how you did that?
So I use let me pull this up. Where's my thing at? So I used uh where's that at? Okay, I used a software called Eval Labs. So one of the things I did, I realized that I wanted to do it like this. And so my main thing, I started talking to Copilot. And I turned on Chat GPT-5, right? Because that's really Chat GPT-5 is amazing. They're saying that this software can actually code better than a senior coder. And so, yeah, so I used that and it just gave me a blueprint on actually how to set it up. Now, I thought it was just going to be something simple that I could just get a script and then put it on this and that. No, it took me about 5 or 6 hours just to put that together. One of the things is that you have to read what AI puts out. You can't just say put this in and then throw it out there because one thing AI doesn't have is common sense. Now, it is if you use it a lot, it is becoming it starts to learn who you are. And it picks up from your behaviors, your conversation, and it starts implementing that. But you have to talk to it a lot. And so I made the PowerPoint presentation in Canva, right? The information I used from Canva was the book that I wrote with AI about this initiative that we're trying to move with basically making AI not something that's going to lead people out, but something that's going to step people up. I took that, I put that into Canva. Canva made me a whole presentation, right? But once again, you had to go through it and work it and find the right one. Once I did that, then I spoke to Copilot. Now, Copilot, you cannot put, unless you got Copilot Business, you really can't throw your presentations and documents on there. So the one that you can do it for free is it's going to be DeepSeek, right? So I put everything in DeepSeek. DeepSeek was able to make me a presentation for each slide. But then I realized when I was trying to put it together that DeepSeek basically had each slide unorganized. So then I had to go back, make sure it was tailored to each one, this and that, read it, And then the hardest thing was actually finding a voice that sounds just like mine. So that cost $100, and that costs $100 a month to actually imitate your voice and make it sound real.
It
Uh,
sounded just like you. I thought it was you.
cause the one for $20 sounded like somebody else. Okay. And so once I did that, uh, 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 I went in there, I tweaked it, and I just had to learn how to do the software. And then, some old skills that still gonna have to come and play. And so, even though they got Canva, PowerPoint, and everything, these are tools that we were growing up using, and these are tools at this present time that we're still gonna have to use because AI isn't really just going in doing all the hard work and putting it together. You got to use it's just like everybody that has a nonprofit. You know that you're working out of 3 or 4 different systems just to run the organization. So it's the same thing with this. You're gonna be working out 3 or 4 different systems just to make or put a presentation together. And so I hope I answered everybody's question. But no, it wasn't easy. Like I said, it took me about 5 hours to do it and about $500 to $600 worth of resources to put it together, and $500 to an average everyday working person is a lot of money to spend, right? And so my plan and my goal is to be able to work with you guys that are part of this forefront and just making this thing accessible to everybody. And with y'all help, I can be able to raise the money that is needed because each AI lab roughly is going to run anywhere from 75 to $100,000 plus having somebody run it. But I'm trying to give this to you for free. All you gotta do is say you're gonna work with us, and hopefully Kaufman or somebody gives us the money, and we can get this thing done.
All right. Well, fingers crossed. How are you finding? So, as you said, your primary niche was construction, which is pretty different from tech. How are you finding the response from the job seekers who you're working with?
Oh, they're excited, right? But they're also confused. Uh, Being in the tech industry has always been one of our future goals, but with that, it took time. You got to become good at one thing before you move on to another. But with this AI being so much of a game changer, everybody has to get on board and everybody has to move with this change quickly because if you're not, you're going to be left behind. And by the time I say by 2000, we're going to start seeing big changes starting next year. About 2028, we're going to see a lot of changes. And so making sure that people are not jobless, making sure that people are staying ahead of the game, and making sure that people that are scared of it, because you have a lot of people, I don't like AI, don't send me no AI, oh, it's bull crap, this and that, making them become less biased of it and more open to it. And one of the biggest things too, I work with we're working with a lobbyist company, but one of the things with working with them is making sure that the politicians are get ahead of this and making sure that as policies put in place that are going to help shape this narrative. And unfortunately, we live in a country that has systematic racism in our core. So we got to make sure that this doesn't transfer over to AI. And so it needs to be some type of AI audit to make sure that AI is fair and not biased like this country has risen all of us up to be.
Yeah, no, that great points. Well, anybody else have any questions for York?
Thank you so much. That was really powerful. And just to kind of reiterate what you said earlier on, is that AI isn't perfect. It's not all, together. You can't use it for all your things. Appreciate the time you put into it because it was really powerful. Now you have that video, as expensive and, learning the system is. I was wondering if you could put up your contact slide again so we could kind of get your contact or type it in the chat. And I'd love to visit a site you have, or I think all
Okay,
of us would know your situation more.
I will put it in the chat for everybody. And yes, like I said, I look forward trying to work with the community as a whole. Because one of the biggest things is I want Kansas City to be the pilot for the rest of the country. Okay. So let's start right here in the middle and let's let it migrate to other states. Let's be the actual perfect example of what it looks like and what it needs to be. We already got the Chiefs. Now we need the community to basically do the AI. The Chiefs showed people how to play football, and now we're going to show people how to use AI successfully.
Thank you so much, York. All
No,
right,
thank you.
Toby, you're up.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This a collaborative initiative. Everything that Carol said, everything that York said, Merve, it's blends into what we're talking about. Generations Online has a different concept, a different way of doing things. What we do is we build tools that actually enable an older person to learn on her own. And we've helped 300,000 people, a little bit more than that, to date over the past 25 years in just this way. So as Carol was saying, that is the most forgotten group. And as York was saying, it has to be more equitable. So what we set about doing, and we've got work in beta now that I want to share with you today. What we set about doing was, for the first time, perhaps, the most vulnerable may be ahead of the curve. How wonderful it would be if a grandmother could advise the grandchild when there is a suspicious photograph or anything else. I think that's kind of, you're in the heartland, that's where my heart is. So what I want to do is be able to show you what we've set out to do. It's taken us more than a year. We've researched it. We've had 6 focus groups in various places, all about older people. So that is really what it's about, older people. And when I say that, it's 60, 65 and up, way past 100. The program itself, I'm going to share my screen. Can I do that? Have you given me a,
Yeah, you should be able
Okay.
to do that. Let me know if you have trouble.
no? Can you see it? So the program, can you all see?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the program does 2 things. One, it does all the background curricula that Carol was describing that she teaches, but it also lands you in a place where an older person is prompted to share memories and to vent without judgment and to use a bot especially designed for elders. Older people, it's a whole different approach. You can't unburn the toast in my era. There's no off-on switch. We didn't reboot anything. And so the idea that you really need to sort of tailor it for this population and have guardrails where something speaks more slowly, where it has space between. So, and also in various languages. Here is the languages we have now. I don't know if this applies to any of you, but these can be changed. So those are the languages it's in. And the basic program people would normally do is, I want to get rid of this so I can go back, is to use it in English. First time here, tap here. And then there is an introductory video. I'm going to share the URL of this with all of you if you want it. Leslie has already said she's interested in the beta. We are at late stage development. So if you thought of this as software, it's when you're trying to debug it, trying to find out, is there anything else people would say is confusing or they want to add? As York said, this is such tricky stuff. You don't want to go at it too rapidly. In the tech world, it's fail fast. Well, we prefer not to fail. And so in terms of who we're trying to get to are those agencies that help older people, as well as families who have a loved one. So it can be used in a communal sense, or it can be used one-on-one. And so after a 3-minute explanation.
You may have heard the term artificial intelligence, AI. What does it really mean? Simply put, AI is any computer program that
I don't know if you want to take your time for me to play it here, but you can play it on your own. But it goes on and goes through, you've heard of Siri, etc. And then we get to an example of spoken AI. There's the typed on ChatGPT, right? And Bard and all the others. And there's also the spoken. And we're looking at how this should be deployed for an older adult population, because many of them will really adjust to the spoken word, but it really isn't as robust. So if you're looking for a meal planning, for example, for a week's worth of meal planning, and then what should be on the shopping list to make those meals, and then the recipes, all that is way better if it was being printed. But I think we're going to be hearing a lot of audio of people using it in the spoken word. So as we continue, we talk about the safety and how to spot bad AI. This is at this point, there will be a coach, as with all our work. It's designed for the individual to do it on her own, but a coach just to motivate and troubleshoot. So after you're going here, this is the 6 boxes they get to. Tips for success. You can read them and appreciate that they're obvious. And then the computer program that we've designed for an older adult to interact in an artificial intelligence way is called I'm a Computer. And you can see why, right? Just so they don't fall in love with it. And it's for, as we were saying, I think Carol had said too, that smartphones are much more ubiquitous than computers. Tablets, full-size tablets are the best, but the program works on any one of these. And so it's all programmed to show you how it would be on each of these devices. So people will use their own. And then a lot of FAQs. This is still printed. It's not as interactive as we would like, but it's just for them to read when things go haywire. We've always talked directly with respect to an older adult and realize there's certain phrases, there's ways that they can understand things that cut to the quick. A novice person does not have to know every way to skin a cat. They just have to know the one way, and then they get used to it. And then what happens is, once they go through I'm a Computer, we will bring them on to ChatGPT. And we've chosen that one. It seems to be the most standard. If you're using many of us use other AI platforms, but ChatGPT is fairly ubiquitous. And at least for most of it, for a short time, it can be free. And that was one of the other parameters. We didn't want to hand over something that then would cost money. So we're going to get them onto ChatGPT. And then the tricky thing happened. And really, I so appreciate if any of you want to do a beta trial with this and let me know what you're seeing and how to deploy it. Here's the sticking point. You go on to any platform that's based on ChatGPT, and you have to log on. And then you have to have authentication, two-stage. So you have to go back to your email, pick up that code, but then you've lost the other thing. Trying to teach people how to go back and forth with tabs is pretty tricky. So we decided after the 6th focus group, where people were floundering, to test drive ChatGPT first, and that takes them through it, and then to bring them back to I'm a computer, and that will take them into prepare for takeoff. Here's how to open IMA. By now, they've tasted what generative AI can do because they've done this ChatGPT. And in our focus groups, at least, every one of them wanted to now go into the one that was specially designed for them. This also is predicated on having a coach because it's too, for a brand new novice, and truly most people over age 75 at least really are still very technophobic, and they're frightened and they're not secure. So we teach them all about two-step authentication, but it's a bear. And so by the time they get to IMA, they're feeling comfortable. And these are the boxes we give them. There's something from the past I'd like to remember. We built this because loneliness is, in fact, an epidemic. And when they start to go into that, it's been nirvana. I want to create something fun that's, it will prompt them once they start. I could use some advice. That one became very popular. I need to vent with no judgment. The people who came into the focus groups most skeptical, that's the one that sold them. And so at the same time, we've got a core products, not products. I have to get this out of the way. We have a booklet PDF for coaches, and this will take you. It may look very big on your screen, but don't forget, a lot of times coaches are a spouse or a caregiver. And so some of it is words, but then we have an AI skills checklist, which is very affirming. A person might leave a navigation section and say, oh, I still don't know how to do this. I'm so dumb. And then you say, well, wait a minute. Did you watch the video? Yeah, check that. I learned why people use AI and how it can help me. Check that. I asked a question by typing, asking, yeah. And so after a while, they realized I learned that AI is safe, respectful, and always there to help. I practiced exploring without needing to get it right. And then they write down something they'd like to try next. There's a certificate if they've completed the program. This is something to help recruit learners. This is for the coach or an agency person. This is posters, sign-up sheets. We try to sort of make it as simple as we could for staff who are always stretched too thin. And this is the, if somebody wants to take that home and go back to it, we always have instructions on every screen. And this is a formatting. What we have found in the deployment of all this, it goes back, is to start with a workshop. And this I'm going to stop sharing my screen because you've got the idea now. But the idea of it's fine to build something, but how would somebody else use it? And so we try to create protocols with all of our tutorials where we can we're sort of sharing with you best practices. It's not a have to, it's just a guide. And then in all of our work in teaching other how to read a newspaper online, how to find work online, all of the tutorials always have these kinds of checklist of accomplishments, etc. So the idea of having a workshop, invite the community in and say, want to have a taste of this? This is, this is the test kitchen or this is a test drive, where just come and see what it's all about. You don't have to use it. You don't have to like it. But as York was saying, you really ought to know so that you're not the last one on the information highway. So I'll take any questions, but that's basically, I wanted to share it.
Thanks so much, Toby. And you're looking for people who might be organizations that might be interested in helping to fine tune this?
Yeah, if it's pretty much, we want to know how you've deployed it. We're not asking anybody to proofread it for us, but we've had 6 pilots in various places, and we've got some funding proposals out for more pilots. At some point, we need to launch this puppy. But if you said to me, well, I've tried it, but I found that it was very awkward to try to do a workshop. What we found was better with such and such. We could incorporate that and say, in some places, it'll work better when you do 1-on-4 or etc. So yeah.
No, I totally agree with you on that. I'm working with another company, Good Stock, and they were so happy to hear my feedback because I was using one of their AI tools, and I showed them like, hey, this is good, but it's really it had so many flaws in it when for a user that I'd rather keep on using what I'm trying to use it. So having that feedback from an actual person that has used the system is imperative for everybody that's trying to build an AI system or for something that's going to be generated for the public. And so I love to work with you on that because one of the biggest things is having the elders get used to it because a lot of them, just like when it came with the smartphones, I still got a friend, he never got a smartphone. He just got a flip phone because he never wanted to do the transition. And so my information is in the text. Please send me an email so we can sit down and have a dialogue and start working with each other on this.
Okay, I'll put my my contact info in the chat.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm definitely going to share this with Carol as well because I think this could be a great addition to what she's offering here and just taking her AI curriculum to the next level. So really appreciate you being here, Toby. Thanks again for getting up so early and sharing all that. Any other questions or comments for Toby before we move into our announcements?
I'll sign off and let you all.
Yes, thank you again. Bye-bye. See you on the listserv. All right, so we have I'm going to kick off the announcements. We have a great event coming up. Mary Kay has been helping to plan that event as well as some other folks. So Get Help KC is coming up on November 8th. And I am going to drop a flyer in the chat and hope that you can help us just get the word out here. And it's going to be a great event. We're going to have just a lot of one-on-one help doing all kinds of things. And hope you can spread the word to your folks and so we can get a good group of people. It's going to be finally found it. So filling out all kinds of forms, FAFSA, food stamps, the whole nine. The first 20 people who come who have pre-registered will get a computer. They'll attend a 2-hour class with Essential Families, and will be able to get that computer, and then there will be 50 additional computers that will be distributed through Essential Families for all those folks who don't end up in that first 20. So we'll be referring them over to Essential Families for those workshops that they can then qualify for a computer, and then of course all of the programs and services that Essential Family offers. So I think we had somebody join us. Just take a pause in our announcements for a second. Terry, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Terry Sivas. I'm here in Kansas City. Just very interested in the digital space, and I work for a company called Lever One, but was just really interested to join the conversation and learn more about the organization.
I'm just curious, how did you find the group?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm
That's
not
okay.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, no. Well, welcome. Marisa, I want to give you just a quick moment here, a few minutes to talk about the forum that you all had, and just do a quick recap and any follow-ups from that.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Well, thanks, Leslie, for carving out some time. I'll be brief. Maybe a couple of times during this session or during this meeting, I've shared that the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City was going to be hosting a Digital Access Research Forum, and we did host it. That was in September. Many of you that came, thank you so much for attending and your engagement, and hopefully you can provide or have provided feedback for the next forum, which we host every other year. So briefly, this event was held in Kansas City in partnership with not only the KC Fed, Atlanta Fed, Cleveland Fed, Dallas, New York, and Philadelphia. And really the idea together research and emerging research. We also had the ability to add what we called pre-forum trainings, and it was more focused towards practitioners. In that particular session, which was our pre-forum workshops, we focused on qualitative and quantitative data collection, as well as storytelling and using tools. And this, it sounds like, even based on the conversation today, how important that is how to be able to look at the data, analyze it, implement it. And for many of you, using that information to tell your story from a funding perspective, policy perspective. What I'm going to do here before I end this call here is I'm going to drop a link to the agenda. So even if you didn't go, scan through some of that information, and if I have the slides or the content, I would gladly pass that on to you. One of the other things I want to point out before I do that, however, is today's discussion on AI did come up during this particular forum. One specifically talked about digital access and AI, and that was brought forth and moderated by one of our policy specialists at the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. And very similar to you all, trying to navigate what AI looks like for low to moderate income communities, for underserved rural communities. And I think, I guess, a general question that doesn't necessarily need an answer from all of you, one of the things that surfaced from my perspective and based on today's conversation is, what are we doing as organizations and entities to help create internal policies that then kind of bleed through to our clients? Like, how are we, what does that look like on your guys' side? Do you have some sort of AI review? Like, if Leslie, when you use something to help write a grant, what is that policy that says someone else is going to review that, or that there's a double check? And I think that's just kind of the things that have been surfacing with AI. I mean, we see it when we bundle it all together as one big topic, but we do really need to analyze individually how we use AI is used and unknowingly, how we use it unknowingly, how AI will help us from an enhancement standpoint, an employer, an employee, but also what is the potential, and this is a reality, is how is AI going to be a displacement? So those are just some things that I would leave for you all to maybe think about and think through as you're developing your AI content and you're looking internally at yourselves to kind of make sure that you're setting up the parameters to protect your agency, to protect yourselves, but also clients that you serve. So hopefully that was brief enough. I tried to run through quickly.
No,
And again,
that was great. I think the the agenda was just chock full of great stuff. So I appreciate you
yeah.
putting out that offer to send slides. I know that our former colleague William Krempler did a presentation where he was analyzing the internet availability and cost in Kansas City. So that might be of particular interest to this group. But again, it was a great event, and it was wonderful to have it here in town and bring a lot of folks here to enjoy Kansas City. We had a little happy hour for NDIA, and I think we ended up with like, I don't know, almost 35 people came through. So it was fun to see people from our digital inclusion community coming here to really dig into that research aspect. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and Leslie, I will say, as if there's a topic that surfaces, so maybe if folks can provide feedback to you, and if it's specifically if it's a Fed-led topic or tool, I'd be happy to coordinate having one of those individuals come and maybe share a little bit about the tool or the research that they've conducted. One, for example, is more focused on let me see. I have her paper here. She just published a paper, Broadband Affordability, the cost of broadband for low and moderate income communities and cities. I can also drop that link. And Bika Nair just dropped that last week. And for example, if that's an interest, I'm sure she would be more than happy. So again, if it's a Fed led, I'm more likely to get a yes.
Yes, no, that sounds great. And if you would put that link in the chat, because we'll for sure add that to our next edition of the digital inclusion newsletter that we send out. So thanks again, Marisa. Anyone else have any announcements?
Marissa, did you put your information in the text so I could reach out to you?
Oh, sure. Yes. Sorry. I will type that in right now. My email address. Thank you.
Yeah, we do have some. Do you want to just talk about it? Leah?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Maybe. Okay. Marisa, I just wanted to mention that Leslie mentioned William Crumpler. Unfortunately, he's not with our team anymore, but before he left, he was able to build out a sort of AI for nonprofits, at least, sort of template and good resources to get started to build those internal processes. And us ourselves are still working on that process ourselves, but I think you raised a really great point, which is that we need to look internally on how we're using AI effectively and safely for the folks that we serve, and I think that's a good resource to get folks started.
Yeah, and we can share that out if you want to. Why don't you just drop your email in the chat, Leah, and if you'd like that that resource, we're happy to send it to you. Just connect with us directly. All right. Anyone else have anything? Any last parting words? Anything for the good of the order, as they say? All right. Well, appreciate everyone joining us today. I think it was a really great batch of presentations. We have a lot of cool stuff happening around AI. And thanks, Terry. I'll add you to the future meetings. Appreciate you joining us. And we will see you all next month. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.